Like, I didn't even go see Azealia Banks in Sydney last night, and tickets were $30. So, and yet I'm one of the crazier Azealia Banks fans that like tries to defend everything she does. But yeah. Welcome back, fans and friends, to the Complete Guide to Horror podcast. Today, we're discussing the 2019 Australian film, Little Monsters, starring Lupita Nyong'o, Alexander England, Josh Gad, and Kat Stewart. Little Monsters centers on a washed-up musician, also not Lady Gaga, even though she has a fan base called Little Monsters. What the fuck? But a different washed-up musician, a children's television personality, and a kindergarten teacher teaming up to protect a group of young school children during a sudden zombie outbreak.
Must be something in the way.
What is it, Miss Caroline?
Stop the tractor!
Are you okay?
Yes!
It's interesting to note this is technically an Australian film. It was financed by Screen Australia, Screen New South Wales, but even though it stars mostly American actors and whatnot, it is set in Australia. There's a lot of Australian flags throughout this movie, but for me, I guess it leans more towards an American production because to me it has higher production values than your typical Screen Australia funded movie, like say Mental or any other Australian movie in the past like 20 years, whether it's Bait 3D or God forbid any other like independent Australian movie. Really like this movie. I had seen posters, trailers for it since 2019, but never actually got around to watching it until last night, actually. And I'm going to say I really liked it. I really liked the black comedy elements. I like that it was your typical like Australian humor that is focused more on like dark comedy themes and whatnot, but also really liked Lupita. I think that she was such a great main character for this movie. I mean, we've been discussing Jordan Peele recently, and even though we haven't necessarily done Us as a proper episode yet, I feel that Lupita was the stronger element of that specific Us movie. And likewise here with Little Monsters, I mean, for me it's a tie between her and Josh Gad as to like the standout stars, if you like. But no, really liked her, thought she was a perfect fit for the role, even if she's not Australian per se. But yeah, really liked this. Coop, this was your pick of the month. What are your thoughts behind Little Monsters?
I think this is a really good movie. This is sort of something I'd watched more recently. I think maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. My partner came across it on one of the streaming sites. I don't know what it was, and at that point, they all move around these days. Can't keep track, old man like me. But really enjoyed it. It's odd seeing like I guess a heartwarming horror movie that is like super gory, and I think it's just kind of like well pulled off. There's a lot of Aussie humor in this. I was in stitches within like 10 minutes of this movie starting with some of the dialogue. It was ridiculous. So yeah, I just think it's a really good time. It's always nice to see like Aussie movie that's pulled off well and isn't full of ridiculous cliches and stereotypes that make you sick to your stomach to watch, because you can tell it's obviously marketed to an American audience. I feel like something like this could be marketed to both an Australian audience and an American audience with neither feeling patronized. And that's not something you often see. So I think that's probably why I picked it.
I guess going into it, I'd seen the poster recently somewhere, actually. I think I was on a box office thing having a look at something. And I didn't actually look at the poster properly to know what was going on. But no, I was pleasantly surprised. I actually really liked this movie. It's, as you say, Justin, it's like heartwarming sort of cute, but in a good way. Like, I don't know, like a good feel movie, I would say, a good feel horror movie. I really appreciated, I guess, like the Aussie humor. I guess I missed that, but it is funny when you hear it in movies. Like there was a particular scene where Josh Gad said to the kid with the crawler, and he was like Meals on Wheels, and I actually laughed at that point because you don't hear that in anything. The goal was good. I'm not a big fan of zombie movies in general. Like I don't really like zombie side of movies. I just dislike zombie stuff, but I think this movie pulled it off really well. Pacing was good. The dynamic between sort of the teacher, the musician, even the mum, and the little boy. Kids in movies tend to not really do a good job. I find, like, especially in horror movies, they're more just annoying, but he was actually quite adorable and I think was pretty good at acting in it. I mean, I hadn't heard of this movie, and it seems to be the issue with a lot of Australian horror movies is there's just no marketing or exposure, and they come out at cinemas and they're here for a week and they go, and that's it. There's just nothing spent to kind of promote it and to get a bit of a following behind it. Because I think if it was like promoted well, it would have done well. So it's a missed opportunity, but I think it's sort of a bit of a like a fan favorite. I think it'll be like a cult one probably down the track for an Australian sort of horror film.
It's interesting to know with the writer-director Abe Forsythe. So there's this short film festival that runs every year. I'll be honest, I don't know if it's actually run in the past 10 years because I kind of forgot about it and haven't seen any promotion for it, but it's called Trop Fest, where like Australian filmmakers sent in a short movie based around a specific theme or like a key motive for that year. Like one year it was umbrellas, the next it was like cups or whatever. But he actually won the 2009 installment. And prior to that, he had done a lot of acting roles on TV shows like Water Rats, All Saints, Blue Water High, Always Greener, and also did a controversial like mockumentary, if you like, called Down Under, which was around the 2005 Cronulla riots. And I've seen Down Under, and some of that black comedy in that I definitely saw in Little Monsters, that I was like, oh, this is where it's from. Now I know the director, because I don't know about you two, but after I watch a movie or TV show, I Wikipedia the shit out of like the director, writer, cast to be like, where do I know them from?
Yeah.
But no, definitely see his own unique style, if you like. Likewise with you, BP, I'm not a big zombie movie fan. Like I didn't even watch The Walking Dead back when it was like super popular, couldn't get into it. There are a few Australian zombie movies. One that springs to mind is Wormwood, which is more of like a low budget indie zombie horror, if you like. Personally, I didn't like it, but that's not to say that that movie isn't good. It's got a lot of really great production values behind it. I've actually met the writers and directors back when I was working at an agency in 2016. They're the most loveliest people, clearly know their shit. I just didn't feel entertained by the movie because I'm not their target audience, you know? I will say probably my favorite character though, as strong as Lupita is in her acting, I just can't get Josh Gad out of my mind. There's so many funny parts that he says where I'm just like, oh, he stole the scene completely. You know, likewise, I do have to give it up to all the kids. I genuinely believed they were like real and affected by it. Same with Lupita. She's trying her best at first to hide the zombie outbreak from the kids, being like, no, don't worry, that's not what it is at all. And then she has to realize, you know, oh shit, I've got to actually protect these kids. I have to be honest with them. But really liked it. There was some really strong character development. Likewise, I appreciate they didn't take itself too seriously by trying to be like some high concept drama or whatever, where it's like scenes of like people crying or whatever. Like, I'm glad that was omitted from the movie. Coop, did you have any favorite parts of Little Monsters?
Quite a few. One that particularly stands out is the initial scenes at the military base before the outbreak there, and you've got the two guys on like the what is it, like the little cart thing, the underground cart mover. And the guy that's actually doing all the dialogue in that, he's an Aussie actor who I think I've seen in All Saints before. But they reference that kind of patronizing thing that you see in a lot of Aussie movies aimed at American things. And he's like, oh my God, these poisonous snakes and these spiders and all these like animal facts. I thought the climax of the movie with the like song with the zombies clapping and singing it was ridiculous, but I love it. Just perfectly on point with that. I love the recurrence of that kid that really wants to play putt golf and finally gets to bonk zombies on the head with the golf stick. Yeah. The sergeant or like Captain Dude or whatever was like, oh, there's a woman playing a small guitar. Sir, that's a ukulele, sir. That was just so fucking good. The dialogue in this movie is ridiculous. Yeah. Alexander England, who played Dave or Uncle Dave, he was just really good. I don't think I'd actually seen him in anything else, but he's obviously a really good actor. I'd love to see him in some more Aussie stuff. Josh Gad, he was really good as Teddy McGiggle. Lots of vomiting gags, and he was clearly, just played an asshole really well. Even when he was in character as Teddy McGiggle, you wanted to hate him so bad just because it was so forced and just like, obviously an actor who knows his shit. And I love in particular while they're shooting all the zombies, that you get to see the guy in the koala suit gets fucked up. And then you get to see, there's like a brain shot of the hand in the like the Froggy, Mr. Froggy, and you see like an eyeball and a bit of brain come out of the hand in the glove. It's just primo shit. Love it. Yeah. So those are a few of my favorite things. Yeah.
I was gonna say, speaking of that ending scene where they're all dancing to Taylor Swift "Shake It Off." So one thing I had when watching this movie was, holy shit, Screen Australia must have paid so much money for the use of that song. Because, I mean, Taylor Swift is a bit notorious for copywriting everything, taking people to court. She's even taken some of her own fans to court in the past, which has been a bit of a hot issue and whatnot. But even reading the IMDb on trivia, so initially they couldn't get the rights to even use the song, let alone the budget to pay for it. So Lupita reached out to Taylor Swift personally, explained why it was so important to the film, and Swift granted her the rights. So that's really cool. Don't know, for example, if maybe they got it on a discounted budget or whatnot, but I just think it's cool that Taylor Swift herself did agree for the use of the song. It also shows the power of networking in Hollywood and whatnot. Even for a little Australian movie like this one, it's just cool to see that there is this international support for it.
I liked that they had a US military camp thing in Australia, and they make a comment about it, and they're like, why do we have this down here when it should be in America? Sort of taking the piss out. And then they're talking about, when they're talking about the most dangerous animals, and that's just it reminds me of the whole Vegemite thing again, when they just plastered on bread in America, and you need to put butter and a little bit of Vegemite. As I said earlier, the dynamic between sort of Lupita, Dave and Josh Gad, I thought was really good. Josh Gad, I think, was the standout. There were so many quotes out of him that that was the funniest bit, and I was actually laughing out loud with that. As Justin said, the kids were convincing and legit, and I wasn't forced or anything like that. And they all did a really good job. As you said, the kid with the golf that wanted to play putt, and it was nighttime, and she's not right now, it's nighttime, we're not going to play that. And then at the end he jabs one of the zombie hands, I noticed, but it starts to come up onto the back of the tractor, and he just the one scene I really liked was when Josh Gad's in the van and the frog comes out, and then it rips the side of his jaw.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's a bit reminded me when we talked about House of Wax, how he starts peeling at the side, you sort of get a strip of it. That was really good as well. And I think the use of Shake It Off, I did think that as well, Justin, with the whole rights thing, that they actually were able to go to get away with using that song. But I think it was a really nice song, and I think it was a good rendition, and it sort of brought the film together at the end. And that end scene where they're coming down the road on top of when he's it's a ukulele, sir, and then they say I think there's kids chanting, and he's like, there wouldn't be zombies chanting or a zombie singing as well. Yeah.
Not kids, not goddamn kids. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was
he's like a No, yeah, I think a lot of positives. It's a feel good movie. Yeah, it's just it's a good, I guess, return to form for an Australian horror movie, because as we have discussed in many episodes, there's not a lot out there that are generally good. There's a lot of bad ones and only really a couple good ones amongst that. So yeah, I just kind of hope this gets more exposure.
If I try to think of any bad parts about this movie, nothing really springs to mind in terms of pacing, editing, acting. I feel like it is actually quite high quality, which I can't say for a lot of other Australian movies. So in saying that, this isn't a criticism of the film itself, but one thing I really appreciated with this was it seemed like they really had the lighting set right for Lupita's skin color. And the reason why I say that is because there are notorious cases of other movies, especially in the past. I feel like it has quite caught up modern day, but there's a difference between like lighting methods per se for like Caucasian actors versus, actors who are non-white, because light reflects differently. It can actually appear as whitewashing. It can appear as like giving them a bit of a different look that isn't necessarily true to their natural skin color. And even like the promo shots, like the one I'm using for my Zoom background, that's Lupita's actual skin color. But in some TV shows and films with black actors, it usually gives them a bit of an orange or green tinge to it, because the editors and color graders don't necessarily know how to account for it in post-production, because the actual production hasn't been set up properly. So that's one thing I took note immediately. I was like, oh, this must be a modern film because they've actually lit her correctly. And really appreciate that attention to detail. It's not like as if lighting for someone that's not white is going to cost extra money. It's just literally positioning the lights differently and using different filters so that you are displaying their true skin color. And I really like that. I think that this movie doesn't suffer from anything production wise, but the lack of marketing around this movie is something I do take issues with. Even just some little bit of extra money to promote this movie in the long run, as opposed to just its initial release in Australian cinemas or whatnot. Maybe like a Facebook campaign, Instagram campaign, something to say, available on DVD, available on streaming, even some type of user engagement, whether it's like, get all the Facebook mums on board to be like, in celebration for the release of Little Monsters, show us your little monster and the craziest thing your kids have done. Guarantee every single Facebook mum would be like, my little son Jackson and King Brianna, or whatever names white people love to call their kids these days, would post in like the most embarrassing photos of their kids, but that would drive the engagement up for this kind of movie. And plot twists around zombies and everything, but to get marketing out there, you need this to have a wider reach and impressions. But
I looking at the poster, I initially thought, before I looked at the premise, I took it as like a Aboriginal some sort of tribal sort of movie. That's how I look at the poster. I don't really, looking at it more closely, I kind of get what it is now, but I think the poster is also a bit like, it almost looks, even though it is like playing ukulele, it looks almost like a musical movie, just the way of her posing and with the thing. That's how I kind of take it. And talking about the marketing of that, it just seems like Australia in general, when they release these movies, are so hesitant. So they do very limited marketing. And might just go all out. Like, it's just frustrating. It's sort of like they're so scared that they're not gonna make money, and I'm like, well, if you don't market it, obviously you're not gonna make money. Like, I don't know if this actually ended up being profitable in the end.
There's a continuity error right towards the end of the movie that gave me the shits. So actually there's two things. So when Lupita goes off to get, I think it's the medication for the little kid when he's having the allergic reaction, and she comes back absolutely drenched in blood, and she's covered in blood for ages. And even in the scene, just like when the tractor crashes in and they're about to leave, she's covered in blood, and then she's got a fully clean dress again while they're like on their way out and the zombies are following them. I didn't notice that the first time. I noticed it last night, and I don't know, it annoyed me. So, and there was a couple of times when she was running around to get the medicine, where she easily could have gone around. Like, she didn't have to. But I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
But
there's one where she's running
only
straight
so
at
many
him.
extras. So, yeah, and it was like not a huge amount.
No.
She could have like gone around, but got to chop them heads off.
I didn't actually notice that continuity error, and I'm a little annoyed I did pick up on that, because I always watch these movies being like, here comes the shot where like their hair's parted on the left instead of on the right, like the previous scene, or they got a drink in one hand and now it's on the counter. Like,
yeah.
I guess like it had been such a long time before the scene had gone back to the army that I forgot the army was actually coming out again. That's just how it went, I guess. But I mean, yeah, it's nothing really I can fault with it. So yeah, I was just gonna say, with the positive, I also make mention of Kat Stewart. I thought she was really good as the mother. Seen her in a couple of things over the years. I thought she's really good. I think I kind of wish maybe she was utilized a bit more, but what she had anyway as being a parent was good enough. And even at the end, it was really a nice touch.
Go and watch it. It's a good movie. I agree with you both that it deserved better marketing. I hadn't seen any trailers for it, any kind of marketing for it whatsoever. And it just, my partner had come across it when we were looking for something to watch. So saw it was Aussie and jumped in. But yeah, check it out. It's, if you want to see a nice sort of, I guess, gory, heartwarming movie with a bit of T-Swizzle. So, and handsome.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, sorry, you go, VP.
Oh, it's I recommend it. It's a good Australian horror, thriller, zombie movie, whatever you want to call it. It's good feels, and it's a good time, and I'm glad I finally got around to watching it.
It is a bit scary.
What are we doing? We're scared. What's the song we can sing?
If you're happy and you know, clap your hands.
Coop and BP, just want to say thank you both very much for joining me again today to discuss Little Monsters.
Cheers, mate.
Thank you.
Anytime. Now, for all the Little Monsters, aka Gaga's fan base, who felt misled by this title,
Tell me how you fucking feel. Tell me to go fuck myself.
but if you liked our episode, give us a like, comment, share, tip, etc., etc. And if you hated this movie,
How do you like it, huh?
That